Hello, good afternoon, good evening, or good morning, wherever you are. Welcome to my channel. Like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so whenever I post a video, you will be first to notified. Our topic today is what is the meaning of unrighteous life and righteous life? What is the meaning of living both life? On the right part and on the wrong part. But first we're going to do the unrighteous life. We're going to have part 1 and part 2. So after I finish this video, I'm going to continue by making another video about the righteous life. Okay, so as I said, make your comments, like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so whenever I post a video, you will be first to be notified. Okay, first we're going to say there is an unrighteous path in society, because I used to live an unrighteous life, but God is always with us in anything that we are doing. He's always out there, and He's always protecting us. And whatever we plan to do, whatever we're doing in society, He's always there for us to guide us and to protect us, send angels over us. All we have to do is make sure that we keep on the right path. We're on the wrong path, but we have to try and keep God close. I think that's the thing. Keep God close, because He chooses you to do something, and He's out there trying to use you. But most of us, we decide to go our own way. We do our own thing. We go to parties, we go to places that we're not supposed to go, because we're the vessel of Christ and we're here to do His will. And because we're here to do His will, we have to listen to the Spirit. But some of us don't listen to the Spirit. We just live our unrighteous life. But living an unrighteous life, God is always going to be there to protect you. So I'm going to explain to you. So as I said, I come with testimonies, visions, and experience. These are the things that I've been through in my life. I was living an unrighteous life. I am not perfect right now. I'm a Christian, but hey, I'm not perfect, believe me. I don't think there's a perfect man. But if there is one out there, hello, how are you? And have a wonderful day. Welcome to my channel. Okay. So when I was living my life, my unrighteous life, it was very challenging. We have parts in life where we feel like we rise and we're on the top of the world, and then another time we feel like we drift away, like something happened to us and we feel like we're drifting. For me, living in an unrighteous life is like walking on a rope. The rope is in the air and you're walking on it, but you have to keep balance. You have to try to balance yourself because you don't want to fall. So that's what I see when I see an unrighteous life. You have to keep balance. You have to try to keep balance because you don't want to fall. So you're on the rope is up in the air and you're just walking on it, but you're not doing everything. You're going to parties, you're doing everything, you're having an affair, all the sins that we're doing when we're unrighteous. When you're living an unrighteous life, we do a lot of sins. So you will be cheating or lying or stealing. You're living an unrighteous life, but you're walking on a rope, and you have to try to balance yourself on that rope, because if you don't balance, you may fall off the rope. Okay. When I was living my unrighteous life, I knew that my life was not perfect, and I knew some of the things that I was doing was not right. Like, I remember clearly one of the time I almost became a lesbian. And so I want to share these testimonies with you, that a lot of us are living unrighteous life and we don't even realize that God is trying to pull us to Him, and the devil does not want us to find our way on the right part. That's the part 2. We're going to talk about righteous life on part 2. Okay, so when I was living my unrighteous life, I had a lot of challenges. I had relationships where they would just start very nice, in love, everything was beautiful, but then quite a while, like maybe 2-3 years after, so most of the time my relationship goes that far. It goes to like 4 to 5 years, and then after that you start to have a little bumpy. It's like we reach a little bumpy stage and then things just crash. But now that I am living on that part that I'm going to talk about in part 2, you kind of see things different, because you're trying to make the right choices. On this in this road, we don't try to make, we just to live in our life. We guide our own self. God is not our guide on this path. We are the guide. Angels guide us on this path because they're trying to save us. A lot of angels are on the unrighteous path with us. I can tell you that. A lot of angels are on the unrighteous part with us, and they're guiding us, and they're protecting us. They're giving us vision to save us. They're doing a lot of things to help us. So now I'm going to tell you about one of my mistakes that I was making while I was on the unrighteous path. While I was living my sinful life, I went into a depression stage where I came out of a relationship, and when I did, I started to hate men. I already made a video like this, but I took it down, so I'm going to try and make it back over. This is why I'm trying to make it over. So after I came out of my depression stage, you know, I hated men and I didn't want to have nothing to do with them anymore. Now, I started to feel myself leading on a wrong path, but you know, I'm a sinner, so I'm just leading. My flesh is calling out and I'm just feeding it. I'm just trying to feed my flesh. So I started to feel like, you know, I'm finished with men, so I'm going to try a girl. And on this path, I remember clearly everything that was starting to happen to me. I was in depression stage, and I was working. I remember I was working somewhere, and I was going through real depression, like something was really happening to me. I could feel myself. I was not myself anymore. I was like something else is leading me. I'm not myself, and something else is leading me. And I was trying to fight it, but it was not so easy to fight. And I remember, you know, started saying, you know, I don't want any man anymore. I wanted a girl. So because I'm saying this with my mouth, our word is power, and we have to be careful the words we use out of our mouth. The devil was hearing me, and he's very happy right now, and he's going to come to challenge me now because he wants me out of my kingdom, my spiritual self, and he needs me to use me. So he's going to creep up on me, but I'm going to tell you everything that happened to me. After I started saying it with my mouth, you know, I don't want any man anymore, I started to feel for ladies. I'm going to tell you all the stages that happened to me, all the stages, everything is going to change on my body. But after a while, I'm going to fight it, and I realized that the devil was trying to overcome me. First, I started to see ladies, and they seemed attracted to me. You know, I like them very much. If they look nice dresses, or they look nice, I would admire them. Remember, I only said it with my mouth, but I didn't really say it like I meant it. It was just, you know, I'm going through a depression stage, and I'm just trying to find something to ease myself. So I'm just saying these things just to ease my mind, to make myself comfortable, to comfort myself. So I started to see ladies, and I would look at them, and it was like, wow, you know, she's nice and stuff. But then it started to grow. It's something that grows inside of you. These type of feelings is something that grows. It does not come one day in your head and say, oh, I want to be, you know, whatever I'm talking about. It grows. So I would see ladies, and I would start admiring them, and then changes start to happen to my body. The first change I started to see happen to me was my nipples. The lady part here started to stiffen up. Like whenever I see ladies, it starts to change. And then my tongue, my mouth started to had a change too. I could explain this to somebody if they wanted me to explain to them. Something started to happen to my tongue, and then down at that area, the private area, started to do something too. So everything started to change on my body. It's like I'm not longer a woman. I'm starting to become a man. And I started to realize that something was wrong. So I started to first I didn't start to fight yet. Let me tell you what happened. The devil started to put people in my path now. So I started to see ladies that are not straight, that are going on the other path. But then I started to think about it and start thinking of the things that I have to do if I go into that lane. And I didn't like it. My mind started to thinking like, no. So I didn't want that. So I started to fight that spirit. No, this is where I'm going to have problem now. When I started to try to fight the spirit, because I didn't want that anymore, because if I start imagining the things that I have to go and do, I didn't want that life. After a while, I started to fall more deeper into depression. And it's like, I don't know what is happening to me now, and I started to fight now. I started to fight. I'm fighting now. I'm on a fighting stage. But I remember something that saved me. A little girl, I was completely I don't know what was happening, disfigured. My body was disfigured because it was a transformation. It seems like my body was transforming. And because I stopped the transformation, something was just happening to me. My whole life was just going. And I remember one day I was walking through a lane. I was going home. The transformation started and I did not know. I couldn't see it in the mirror. I could not see it in the mirror. And a little 6-year-old girl or 7, I don't know how young she was that day. I remember walking through a lane and the little girl said to her mother, she shouted out. She said, "Mommy, how that girl look so?" Like she said something to her mother, and I heard her. But because I was going through this depression stage, I didn't even focus on what the child is saying, but I heard her. And I was just walking, because I reached a stage of my life that it come like it's just my body and move and the spirit not with me. But God is still with me trying to help me. And when I reached home, I remember what the child said. She's about 6 years old or 7-year-old. That child saved me. She was the one that let me went into the mirror and started to look at myself again. Because it seems like I was looking in the mirror all this time, but not seeing myself. I wasn't seeing Simone. I don't know who I was looking at. So because of the transformation, there's a transformation. When these things happen to you, there is a transformation because my body was transforming. You understand me? I know a lot of you are not going to understand it, but whenever you start changing yourself into another person, you have to transform, and I was transforming, and the transformation started like I was feeling it. I was feeling it in my tongue, this area and down there. I was feeling all the transformation. When I reached home, I don't remember exactly what happened, but I remember what the little girl said. And when I remember what she said, I went inside of the mirror and I started to look at myself. And I don't know who I was looking at. I did not like the person I was looking at in the mirror. I did not like the person. I'm feeling like I want to cry now, but I'm not going to cry. I did not like the person I was looking at. And I remember I started to fight this spirit. I started to pick up myself and fight. And I remember going to work. And I went to my supervisor and I told her I wanted a transfer. Because there was 2 branches where I was working. So there's another branch like 50 minutes down the street, and this was the big branch. I was at the big branch working. And I said, if I wanted to do a transformation, I cannot stay here, so I have to move. So I asked my supervisor to help me. And she told me, okay, she's going to transfer me. And she transferred me to the other branch. And people, it didn't take up to 3 weeks. I don't think it take up to a month. Before I came back in myself, I found back myself, and I was the person that I was supposed to be. I was not thinking about being a boy anymore. I was now a woman again. My whole life started to come back into place. The transformation that the devil was doing on my body, it broke off, and I started to be myself again. So I knew that was an unrighteous life, and that's what I'm telling you, that the devil knows. He can hear you. You have to be careful what we speak. Because of the things I was saying, he heard me. He heard me very clearly, and he was about to destroy me. He was about to take over my kingdom. The devil can take over your kingdom. I shared this testimony already. I'm going to share it again. It means that the Holy Spirit is what dwells in my body. And he can transfer it and put a dark spirit instead. He can use a dark spirit, put a dark shadow over me instead, and take away the light. This is our experience, I'm telling you. I'm not telling you somebody's story. This is my story. So I was falling into darkness. I've fallen into darkness many times. And this testimony I'm going to tell you now is also one of them. I already told it, but I'm going to tell you again. So after I felt like I was turning into a guy, I started to change. It was a transformation. Then I changed back and I became back the person I was. After I cleanse, you have to cleanse yourself. I have to start cleansing myself, changing my clothes, putting on skirts. I started wearing skirts, only skirts. Skirts only, because when I was transforming, I started to wear merino and shorts. That's what I started to wear, merino and shorts. So it's like I'm a tug now. I'm a tug girl now, I start to roll like a tug. and everything on my was transforming. As I said, I started to feel things in my tongue, here and down there. Everything, it's like my body was changing into a man, but I'm a woman. So these things are not normal. So a lot of things are happening to us and we think it's normal. It's not. I'm going to share another testimony. This is falling into darkness, because remember now, I was looking in the mirror all along but not seeing me. If that little 6-year-old girl didn't say something to her mother when I was passing, she said something to her mother when she said it. I heard her, but I didn't pay her any mind. I went home. I don't know what happened. Maybe it's another day after me looking at the mirror, because my staff remember what the little girl said. I'm looking at the mirror and I didn't like the person I was looking at. And I started to try to fight it. But when I started to fight it, it was not easy. It was not like me get up and say, okay, I don't know, whatever. No, I had to go through a fight. I had to go through a spiritual battle. That means I had to move from this place that I was working. I had to move from, I wanted to cry again. I had to move from the place that I was working and move to a different place. Go to a different branch and start over again. Start cleansing myself. Okay, so I'm going to tell you the next testimony now. This one I already said it already. It's in one of my videos already, but I'm going to share it again in this video. The unrighteous life is real. It's real. It's like walking on a rope. As I said, the rope is in the air and you're walking on it, but you have to keep balance. You have to try to balance yourself. You're walking, but you can fall. You just have to balance yourself when you're living unrighteous life. This one is when I left Jamaica and went overseas. And when I went there, I was thinking about money. Wanted money, just money. And I was thinking, I had my family in my mind, I wanted to help them and stuff. But I fell into darkness. I'm just going to tell this part of the story one night. One night I fell into darkness. And how I fell into darkness, I'm going to tell you exactly what happened. As I said, I was thinking about money, and I didn't, in the other testimony, I didn't tell you exactly everything what happened, but I'm going to tell it now. I was thinking about money, want to make some money and thing. The enemy, the devil started to help me. He was in my mind now. He said, free ourselves from mental slavery, but none of us can free ourselves, but free ourselves in our mind. We have to free our mind. That's what we're mental slavery is now. Because we're free, we don't have any chain anymore, but we're now chained up in the mind. Anyway, I started to think about money and stuff like that, and I started, the enemy started, the devil, as I said, he started to help me. And what I used to do now is like, he told me that the spirit told me that I should write the amount of money I want in the roof of my house and at the side. So when I wake up in the morning, that's the first thing I should see is the money. That means the devil, is not God. So what I would do, the wall was there, I used to write on it like, Wolipa zero with Wolipa, like me I write 20 million, I don't know how much money that. And in the roof, the same thing. But just write it. It's like I was living on a righteous life. I didn't know about Christ. So after I started, I built an altar in my house. And the altar that I built, I had a lot of stuff on my altar. Meaning I used to go to the stores that they have, where they have like the cards, the pictures of people. I don't even know these people. You can call their name and pray. Saint Michael, Saint Antonio, Mother Mary. I had Mother Mary, Saint Antonio, Saint Michael, Gabriel. I have all of those, because I had other people. I don't know these people, but me just have them on my altar. I built a altar, people. I'm telling you that unrighteous life is real. Witchcraft is real. Sinful life is real. So after I built the altar, I had my altar, and everything was going nice. I didn't have any job when I just get to the island. I already made this testimony. I'm not going to go into all of that. But I think I made a testimony, and when I look back on it, I realized that I made some mistakes in it. I think I started working in March for somebody, but I had to left that job. Because I don't know how long I worked for the person, it was about 2 months, and then I left that job. And then I get another job. But when I watched over the video, I realized that I made some mistake. But the jobs that I got, they didn't last long. They didn't really last long. I think I was also working in May, because I went there 2012, and by 2013 I was working, but it wasn't long. Like I'd work for somebody for 2 months and then another person for the next 2 months and stuff like that. So, but the lady that was helping me, she was very, very, very genuine. Okay, So after I started to build the altar in the room and write down the money when I want to make, I started to work 7 days a week. Remember now, God not up on my plate, you know. Jesus Christ of Nazareth is not on my plate. All I'm interested in is money. So me not think about no church and nothing like that. We used to have Jehovah's Witness people that used to come to our house and give us lessons, but it's not something that we really were interested in. We just wanted them to come, do the lesson, and hurry up and go. We just want to hurry up and we take the lesson, but sometimes we never really so interested in it. Me don't know about the other person, but me never really so interested in the lesson. I just wanted the lesson, yes, but then when they're gone, it just gone. So Jesus wasn't on the plate. Jesus Christ of Nazareth was not on the plate. All was on the plate was money and partying. Anyways, as I said in the other testimony, one night everything was going good. I was working 7 days a week now. Past June, it was after June I started to work 7 days a week. So from January right back to March, April, May, things was going on, but it wasn't going so well. I made a video, and when I watch it back, I realized that I made some mistakes in it, because I started remembering that, you know, I think in May I was working, and in March I also worked for somebody, but it wasn't long. Anyways, by June now I start working a lot. I talk about 7 days a week. I have 2 jobs, morning jobs, and I have evening jobs. I have money, everything about Jesus not upon the plate. So I remember one night I went to sleep, and I told you in this video already, and while I was sleeping, I felt myself wake up like I was talking to somebody, but I was not talking to anybody. I'm supposed to be sleeping. But when I woke up, I hear myself said, "I fear no evil, for God is with me." And when I said that, and you know, when you wake up in the dark, your eyes darken, you can't see it till for a while your light come up in your eye. And when I heard myself say that, I wake up now, but the place dark, and I saw a black force just move across the room. And when the black force moved across, I was falling into darkness. The same thing happened to me when I almost became a boy, wanted to become a boy. And I saw something move across the room. And when I saw something move across, I got afraid. And I said, "I fear no evil, for God is with me." Thy rod and thy staff, you know, I started to lick out the whole of this scripture. And I remember that is Psalms 23. And when I started to say Psalms 23 now, I started to pray. Did you know, I'm frightened, because I don't know what happened to me now. I see something move. I start say Psalms 23 till it finish. And when it finish, I grab the sheet and I cover from head to toe. I come back out of the front end of the sheet. So till the place light up. Because at the time I was falling into darkness. So because of that, the room was so tilt dark that my friend the next door asleep, and me couldn't even get up out of my bed for run go to her, because me afraid. You understand me? These are unrighteous. When we live unrighteous life, that's the devil came for me, because all I was thinking about was money. So it has to do a trade. And the trade is like he has to remove the covering of God from over me. And he's going to put me with the shadow. But when he does this to me, it's like I am a rich woman of Christ, but I am asking for things that I already have spiritually. I already have these things spiritually, but asking for them is like a person out there is very wealthy spiritual, but you have to work towards what you want, because the enemy is not going to let you just get what you want. You have to fight for what you want. Understand me? You have to fight for the things that we want in society. And the enemy is not just going to give us on a plate. We have to fight for it. And they will try to snatch our souls. Meanwhile, we are going there to get these things, because we have to go with Christ. I'm going to share another testimony that I had. This is not about me. This is a vision I had. And that's why I tell you that a lot of people out there are doing things, and it's not of God. And if you're not doing the things for the devil that he wants you to do, he will try to tear down your kingdom. Take away by the things that he give you. Because that's all he can do. So this testimony is something I'm going to share. It's a vision I had one night. I had a vision one night that this woman, she's running a restaurant. No, the restaurant that she's running, it seems like, I don't know where she get the money from for the restaurant, who built her the restaurant, or how she got the restaurant that she was running. But in the dream, it seems that she's supposed to run the restaurant, and like people will come there, she's supposed to tip things in their tea, because I saw her with teacups. But this lady was a righteous woman of God, and she was not doing these things. And it seems that the devil is trying to come over her, you know, and want her to do these things. She have to destroy the guests, them, the customers that she's having. She have to like take things in their tea, or she have to do something to them, their food. But this lady is not doing these things, and the devil got mad. So she's making money off him because the restaurant maybe was built with his help. But no, this lady is righteous and she's not doing Satan's will. So he's trying to push her out of the company or the business. I'm going to tell you what he did. In the dream, he got mad because he realized that this lady is righteous and she's not doing the things that he wanted. The devil, wanted her to do. So they came back and took the restaurant from her. But they couldn't touch her. You know what they did? They took her out of the restaurant and put her outside. And then tear down the restaurant, then broke it down, then mash up it. So only the platform alone leave. But they couldn't touch the woman. You know why? Because she did not do nothing that they wanted her to do. She was supposed to put things in people's food. She was supposed to sprinkle things on people's tea. And this woman is living for God. So I don't know if somebody see her and say, boy, they go give me spams to a restaurant. And when they gave her, they thought that she was going to, do things to people. She was not doing nothing. She was a righteous woman of God. And when the devil come, he couldn't touch her. But all he could have touched her was the business that he gave her. He could have only taken away that from her. But he couldn't touch the kingdom of God. He couldn't have touched that woman. God, that woman was covered under the blood of Jesus Christ. And he couldn't have done nothing to her. Do you understand me? That's our righteous life. So this woman was righteous. But they tried to help her. To put her deep into hell. So when you do the things for the devil, he thinks he owns you, and he thinks he have you now, and he's gonna use you. But he cannot use you unless you do the things for him. But once you follow Christ, whatever he gave you, he only can take it back. Here, give it back and go about your business. God is gonna come and fulfill that empty space that is empty. You understand me? I am not perfect and I am trying to build myself, but I know it's not easy. Understand me? It's not easy. It's not easy. And living an unrighteous life, it also have prophecies. You get prophecies. Because I was living an unrighteous life, I'm going to tell you a prophecy that I had. Or no, I don't think I want to tell the full prophecy. I'm going to tell a piece of the prophecy. That the devil, when you're living an unrighteous life, the devil can slip into your life. I'm going to tell you a piece of a vision I had and a life that I was living. And a part of the vision. I'm not going to tell you everything, but I'm just going to tell you a piece of it. I was living an unrighteous life, as I said, before I was a Christian. So we do a lot of things in our lives. We get visions too. When you're living an unrighteous life, you still also get vision, you get direction, you get guidance. God is still out there trying to pull you to him. But if you're on your flesh is just doing his thing and you're not using the Spirit of God, he's still there trying to help you because he's trying to pull you to him. So I'm going to tell you a prophecy that I have. That's why I tell you that there's an unrighteous life and God is still there trying to help you. The angels are still there trying to pull you because they know what happened in that life. They know that you're walking on a rope and you might just fall, and they're trying to catch you. They're trying to keep you on a balance. Let me tell you this. I met someone in 2008, and when I met the person, it wasn't too long before I had a child for him. But before I had a child for him, and before I got pregnant, the devil was in my life. The devil was there. But I did not know about no devil and no witchcraft. I didn't believe in these things. I used to tell myself that belief kill and belief cure. Now listen what happened. I was pregnant. I found out I was pregnant. I think it was in December. I got pregnant in December. But before I got pregnant, listen to the challenge I had. Before I found out I was pregnant, I had a vision. I'm not going to tell you the full vision, but I'm not even going to tell you the vision either. I'm just going to tell you what happened. I had a vision, and when I had the vision, it was very funny. So I was thinking about it. When I went to work the morning, I saw a lady. Just as she pulled the door and came into I was working in a restaurant. And just as she opened the door and come in, God connected me to this woman. I don't know her from nowhere. But when she entered the door, it's like a bright light just came inside of the restaurant. And I saw her, and for some reason I couldn't take my eyes off her. I got the vision, but I didn't understand the vision. So we're not supposed to talk to the customers. We're supposed to make the customers come, serve them, and let sit. But for that morning, that lady was something that I had to call. I called her to the counter of my restaurant, and I said to her, I had a vision last night. I told her the vision, but I didn't get to tell her the full vision, because I'm going to tell you what happened. I called her and I said to her, I had a vision last night. But I don't want to hear about no cash pot. You know, people talk about cash pot. Every time you get one vision, it's cash pot. And I said to her, I don't want to hear anything about any cash pot. I just want to know what the vision is. I told her the first part of the vision, people. And when I told her the first part, the lady started to tell me something that I didn't understand. She said to me I was pregnant. So I didn't get to tell her the whole vision. She said to me I was pregnant. And she said to me, it's a girl. But people, I thought this lady was crazy now, because I didn't know I was pregnant. So I was saying, maybe she don't know what she said. So I said, okay, thank you. And I never tell her the whole of the vision. So she went and sit down, and I was like, sorry, I didn't know what she talk about. That time I was pregnant, yes, and it was a girl. I have a daughter. So after I talked to the lady and she went, the same week, I'm telling you, the devil in my life, because it's like I'm walking on this rope, and God have to balance me, Jesus have to balance me. I try to keep me up. I wanted to get pregnant, so I asked someone for a bush, because she's pregnant now, and she said she had to take a bush, and she used the bush to cleanse herself, and after she cleansed herself with the bush, she's pregnant. So people, I am pregnant already, you know, did not know I was pregnant, and asked this girl to bring me the bush. So after she's supposed to bring the bush, I don't know what took place, but she didn't come to work for a couple of days. She couldn't come to work because she was sick. So I was waiting for the bush, but I was pregnant. And about a couple of days after, I saw my baby father came inside of my restaurant one day, and he came in with 2 postcards. One of them have a baby on the front, and the other one said congratulations, whatever. No, the devil is in my life, you know, people. Because if that girl had come with the back bush, you know, I would have used the bush, you know, and flush out my baby out of me, you know, because I did not know I was pregnant. So you see, that's living unrighteous life. And because we're unrighteous, God is still there to protect us, because for some reason God made that girl become sick, so she couldn't come to work to bring the bush. You understand? If she had bring that bush come to me, I would have flushed out my baby, because my baby was already inside of me. But when I look back on the vision myself, years after I started to look at the vision, I started to really realize what the vision was. Not really years, because after I got pregnant, I started to look at the vision, and I realized what the vision was about. And the vision was something that it's an unrighteous life I'm going to live, but I could have survived it. So if my partner was a godly person that knows about Christ and knows about loyalty, and you know, he tried to balance with me, try to protect me, we could have lived this life, but we could become successful in it. And years after I remember it, the vision, it still played out, but I am not in the picture of the vision. And I am glad, sometimes I'm happy that I came out of that, because oh, God showed me the vision, I would have lost. Because the person that I'm with is not trying to find Christ. He does not believe in God. And because of that, I would have lost. Everything that I was trying to build, I would have lost it. And it wouldn't be fair. And I'm thankful to God that I realized what happened because of that vision. It saved me. That's why I just take myself out of it. Because I realized that I was losing. I was going to lose. So I stepped out of that vision. Yeah, out of that picture. So what I'm telling you, this is living unrighteous life. It's like walking on a rope and you're trying to balance yourself. God is just there. Angels are trying to help you to balance. We have to try and balance. So those are the testimonies and the visions that I'm sharing with you today. I can share more, but I'm going to end this video now. Thank you very much for listening to my testimony. So now this is part 1 of part 2. So the next video is going to be the righteous life. So I have that vision of my unrighteous life, and the unrighteous life that I saw, it could have played out very good, but the person was have to be a man of God. a person that is not going to church, is not praying, but he is loyal, and he's somebody that will hold me. He would have stand by me. But if you were living an unrighteous life with someone that is not of God and is not loyal, it would not work. When you're living an unrighteous life, DEATH is always behind it, because it's like you're living in the world of the Gentiles, and you're living it, and you're living the dream. And because you're living in their world and living the dream, there's like they have something coming after you. It's like you're still on the rope, and I'm trying to push you off, because they're on them road I live nice life, and them don't want you upon them road I live nice life. So it's like DEATH is behind you, trying to push you off of the road, Because I tell you, if I had that vision that I had, everything played out. But when I realized I was gonna lose. I realized that I was gonna lose, so I just stepped out. I took a step because I saw the vision. I'm telling you that if I had tell the lady everything with me, she'd have tell me everything, because I already saw what the vision meant. But I didn't know I was pregnant. When she told me that I was pregnant, I was like, that lady are crazy, And then I was pregnant, but didn't know I was pregnant and waiting for the bush. Do you understand me? Anyways, thank you all for watching my video. As we said, we're gonna have part 2, the righteous life. You can see the unrighteous life, and it still can bring you up. The unrighteous life, but it's like you have to fight. It's like you have to fight. You have to know what you're doing when you're living unrighteous. You understand me? And when you're living unrighteous, it's like God is still trying to push you over. Sometimes you're gonna get pushed over. That's why you go through so much testimonies. We go through a lot of testimonies when you're living an unrighteous life. There's a lot of testimonies. When you're living the right life, like I've seen the righteous life that I'm supposed to live. But it's kind of difficult for me to live that life right now. I am living the righteous life right now, but the things that I'm supposed to get, that I see, Bible said some of us see the things we're supposed to get, but we never get the chance to experience it. That's what happens when you're living righteous. You see everything that God is putting on the plate for you, but sometimes we don't get a chance in this world to experience it. It's in the Bible. So anyway, today I made this video, and we're going to have part 2. I'm going to do part 2 about the righteous life. Thank you very much for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so whenever I post a video, you will be first to notified. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful day.